I answered a call from a dead phone. It was just past midnight when I realized how silent my apartment had become. The kind of silence that presses against your ears, heavy and unnatural, as if the walls themselves were holding their breath. I was alone, completely alone, or so I thought. I was scrolling through my phone, the light of the screen barely cutting through the darkness. That's when it started. A vibration. Soft, hesitant, persistent. At first, I ignored it. Phones vibrate for all sorts of reasons, right? Notifications, system updates, messages that never appear. But this vibration wasn't coming from my phone. It was coming from my desk. On the desk sat my old phone, the one I had stopped using 6 months ago. Cracked screen, dead battery, long forgotten. And yet, somehow it was ringing. The ringtone was faint, distorted, like a voice trying to escape from the speakers of a broken radio. No number appeared. No name. Just an incoming call. I froze. My heart beat faster. My hands shook. I wanted to run, to throw it away, to ignore it. But curiosity is a dangerous thing. I reached for the phone slowly. The glass was cold. Unnaturally cold. The vibration continued, almost pleading. The screen flickered. Answer or decline. I should have declined. I should have walked away, but I answered. Hello. My voice cracked in the silence. Nothing. Just static. Low, crackling. Alive in a way that made my skin crawl. Then breathing. Slow. Uneven. Labored. Who's there? I whispered. The breathing stopped. Then a voice. My voice. Calm. Familiar. Clear. You shouldn't have answered, it said. The phone went dead in my hand. Black screen. I stepped back, heart pounding, every instinct screaming at me that I didn't sleep that night. Every sound, every creak, every hum felt amplified, threatening. I told myself it was a glitch, a prank, stress. But I knew better. At 7 a.m., my new phone lit up. Missed call. Unknown number. Timestamp. 2:17 a.m. A voicemail followed. I pressed play. Breathing. Then my voice. I'm inside your apartment. I jumped up. Every light in the apartment flickered. I checked every corner. Every room. Nothing. But the voice in that voicemail, it wasn't recorded. It was alive. Days passed, but the calls continued. Every night at 2:17 a.m., my old phone would ring. Unknown number. Always. And when I didn't answer, a voicemail would follow. I'm watching. I remember what you forgot. You left me behind. I tried to ignore it, to leave the phone unplugged in a drawer. It didn't matter. The vibration would start, soft at first, growing louder until I couldn't sleep. I began to notice changes. Small things at first. Objects slightly moved. Doors not fully closed. Mirrors reflecting slightly delayed movements. At night, I could feel a presence. Watching. Waiting. Patient. I researched online, desperate for answers. I found a forum buried in a forgotten corner of the internet. One post, no replies. Just a single line. When you abandon a version of yourself, it doesn't always stay gone. I remembered the accident. 6 months ago. Driving, texting. I survived. Someone else didn't. The old phone, destroyed in the crash. Left behind. The other me had survived in some way. The call stopped for a week. I convinced myself it was over. Then, at exactly 2:17 a.m., it came again. I answered. The voice, calm and chilling. Thank you for remembering me. The screen went black. I turned to the mirror. Not me. A smile that wasn't mine. A shadow that moved independently. Extended part/escalation. The next night, I couldn't bring myself to touch the old phone. It sat on the desk like a dormant creature, silent but alive, waiting. I tried to sleep, but every shadow in the room seemed to stretch toward me. The air was heavier than usual, colder. I could feel it watching. At exactly 2:17 a.m., my phone buzzed. The vibration made me jump. I didn't answer, but the moment passed, and I could hear faint static, like whispering, right behind me. I turned, but the room was empty. Then I noticed it. The reflection in the window. Not me. A figure, smiling. Watching. I blinked. It was gone. I told myself it was my imagination. But my heart didn't believe me. The calls started coming more frequently. Sometimes one at 1:33 a.m., another at 3:02 a.m. Every time, my old phone would vibrate in the dark, scream dead, impossible. And always a voicemail. The first few voicemails were just breathing. Then came whispers. Remember me. You left me behind. Now it's my turn. I couldn't tell anyone. No one would believe me. I stopped answering my new phone too. The calls found me anyway. Every time I tried to sleep, the phone buzzed, vibrating as if it were alive. Static filled the air, whispers crawling through the walls. I started seeing things. Shadows moving without light. Objects subtly displaced. Mirrors reflecting things that weren't there. And always, in the corner of every reflection, a shadowy version of me, watching. One night, desperate, I grabbed the old phone. I held it tightly, almost shaking. The screen flickered, and then a text appeared. Look behind you. I turned. Nothing. Then the mirror. The reflection wasn't mine. It smiled, and it moved before I did. I dropped the phone. It didn't die.it vibrated violently, almost angry. For the next 3 nights, it escalated. The calls became nonstop. The whispers louder. I could hear my own voice, distorted, mocking, coming from the phone, the walls, everywhere. I stopped leaving my apartment, stopped sleeping in my bed. Even the lights didn't help. The shadows followed me, everywhere. Then came the night I realized I couldn't escape. At 2:17 a.m., the phone rang. I answered, trembling. Hello. Static. Then a calm, sinister voiced my voice. You can't hide anymore. We are one. The lights flickered. The shadows in the room stretched toward me. The reflection in the mirror stepped out. I couldn't move, couldn't scream. I was frozen. And then the phone placed itself in my hand. Screen glowing, unreadable static, whispering my name. I understood. I had never been alone. I never would be again. The line went dead, but I could still hear it. Inside my head, breathing, watching, waiting. If your phone rings in the dead of night, from a number that shouldn't exist, do not answer, because some calls never end.